Hi. Well, hopefully I have got this recreated now the same way that I left it in the last video. Had some problems on the computer and everything was lost from the resume and the cover letter, so I've tried to recreate them. Hopefully you will be able to follow this okay. Here is the cover letter, the way hopefully we left it off last time. And here is the resume following down below. Now, there is one problem with this resume that I didn't get corrected last time, and that is that it goes down onto the second page. Much preferable if you can make it on one page, or if you're making it a two-page resume, you should really fill out that second page, not have it short like this. So if I look at this, there's a couple of things I might be able to do. It's kind of your resume, the way you want to lay it out. I don't have a big preference here, and even if it was left like this, you'd still get the same grade. But if we were to highlight this part and we go to right-click it, and we go to paragraph. Let's go a different place. Here, paragraphs, and the spacing after, if we make that 0, and we make it single lined, and we click OK, that scrunches this up quite a bit. It doesn't change my alignment. But if I do the same thing here, and then I go again to paragraph, and I go to 0 and single spacing, it makes this quite a bit smaller. And actually I have looks like a blank line here somehow after it. Now I needed to highlight this word also and do the paragraph. I missed one word, and single, and click OK. Now if I move down, I see I'm still on 2. Now there's a couple of ways I could do this. One is I could also make this margin a little longer. I could also move my header up maybe a little, and here by just hitting delete I've got it up quite a bit, and still not quite on one line. So now I look here, maybe there's a extra line there, and it looks like maybe after this there's an extra line, and here it looks like there's an extra line. Here's someplace. But that's on my, everything is fitting now. Here's where this extra space is here. And that's not moving for me for some reason. There's the problem. And now I've got it. So now I've actually got a little bit of extra space, which I might need because this word position or company may happen to be longer. Now again, where we have position, where we have company, I'm going to change this now to red just to highlight all of the places that I'm going to use the MailMerge. So in this, I'm only using it twice. Up here, I'm going to be using MailMerge to get this. I'm going to be using MailMerge to get this. I'm going to use MailMerge for company here. I'm going to use it for position here. I'm going to use it for herd here, city here, and company again here, and company again here. And do we have any other places here? I'm searching through. I don't see any other ones. So now we're ready to replace these red things. Everything else should be the same in everybody's letter. But all of the items I hit in red should be different. Now there is one other thing that I need to delete here. You would not have the hit enter 4 times left here. You would delete that. And your signature in blue or black you would not have there. Now the problem is, can you sign it? If you're going to mail it out, you should be signing it. There should be 1, 2, 3, so there should be 4 blank lines here. And then here should be your printed name, and I still have not done that. Okay, so now what we do is go to mailings, start MailMerge, and what I use is step-by-step MailMerge wizard. Find that much easier to use. If you're really an expert in MailMerge and you like doing it the other way, that's fine, but I just like the wizard. We start off by the document type. Letters is what we're going to use. So we go next, start document. Since I've already really done everything, I want to use this document. So now I select recipients. In this case, I should type a new list. Now, in my case, for some reason, it says I already have one connected. So let's see what that, no, it does not. So we type a new list and we create. Now, this list I'm going to lengthen here by pushing my left mouse button down and holding it. Left mouse button down and holding it. This lists the titles of all the fields I can use in my document. Now, I don't like some of these. I want to change them. So I'm going to customize the columns. Titles, fine. We may or may not use that. If you want to use it, that's fine. In my case, I'm just going to delete it because I've decided in this document I don't want it. So yes. I do need first name, last name, and company name. Now, we have a couple of options here. We can leave it company name, the way they have it, or I could rename it just company. Okay? Whichever makes more sense to you. Address line 1, address line 2. In this case, I only have address line 1s. I'm going to eliminate address line 2. Again, that's up to you. This is not something you would be graded on here. Okay, but now country, region, home phone, work phone, email address, I would like you to delete those. So, because we're not using them here, so I go through delete, 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 delete. Okay, now, the problem is now I do not have 2 things in here that I've used over here in the document. So I need to add 2 more fields. So I click add, and I need to add heard. Okay. So now I've got city, I've got heard, I've got company, and I need to add 1 more, and that is position. I now have added position. I click OK. Now this is what I want. I click OK. Now, so that I can see this better, I can do the stretching here. I can also do the stretching here. And I can make these as big as I want. So I'm going to stretch these out a little bit so I can see more of what I type in there. Okay, and now I'm ready to start entering data. So what I am going to do is I will enter in some information. So Joe, and then I hit tab, Jones, tab, and then his company name, GM. Well, no, I want to use HP. And I'm going to make it 111 First Street, Dallas, Texas. And I don't know what the zip code is down there, so I'm going to invent one. And then, how did I hear about this? This needs to make sure it fits in with the wording that you have in your letter. So, you might say something about that. Sheila Anderson told me about the job. And Sheila Anderson would be, oh, and I missed a space there, so I need to go back. She would be somebody maybe that works for the person you're looking at, somebody that he would know. Then the position could be software developer. Now, when I hit enter, I will then, tab, I will go to the next line. Now, if this was the only one I would have here, I should not go to the next line. But I'm going to enter in, you're going to enter in 5. I'm going to enter in a few more. So what I'm going to do is pause the video right now while I enter in a few more. Now, I moved this a little when I was doing this to move it up so I could see the letter. When we wrote in here, Sheila Anderson told me about the job, okay, and I look at my sentence, it doesn't make really sense, because it says recently I heard. And so if I'm going to put that in this sentence the way I've got it, it would say, recently I talked to Sheila Anderson, and she told me, and then now I've got to delete the rest of this because this really makes sense now. Talked to Sheila Anderson, and she told me is going to go right in here, that you had a job opening for a software developer. Now I have to make sure the second one, when I contacted Jim Jackson of Microsoft, says, recently I, and again, this doesn't quite make sense. So I could use talk to her again, or I might say met Mark Martin at the Ferris Career Fair. And now in this case, it could be a couple of things. It could be, and he told me, or it could be something like, and he suggested I, and see, that isn't going to work again because I have that. that might be here. So I was going to say that I apply for the job, but since I said that you had, he suggested I apply for the job that you had, doesn't quite fit. So you've got to watch the language when you use it here. So what I'm going to change this to, and I guess I'll use the same thing. He told me that you had a job opening for a call center leader. But see, I couldn't use some of the words that I duplicated up here, because here I want to say recently I, and again this doesn't quite fit, saw an ad in Computer World stating that you had a job opening for a customer representative. This wording in here gets complex because you don't want to duplicate what's here. In the case of this example, I'm not looking at big grammar things or anything like that. If it makes any sense at all, it's going to fit. So you can make them as short or as long as you want. It's not going to affect your grade. But when you actually do this in real life, you need to try and make this as short as you can, so that, but make sure it fits in the sentence that you have. So now, if I were to, after I put this last one in, if I were to hit tab, I'd go back here, I'd have another entry. That would give me a blank line, and then I'd print out documents with nothing in them. So if that happens, if you do hit tab here, then what you have to do is delete that entry. So now I have the number. In your case, you need 5 of these. Then we click OK. Now you need to save this someplace. So you can save it wherever you would like. I'm going to go out here to one of my directories where I save everything, and then this class, and then save it as addresses. Okay? Now, one more thing here. We'd like to, before you completely close this, highlight all of this. So it's here. Now you have 2 options. One is, if you know how to use the snipping tool, please click on that. That is my preference, because then we can just highlight the area here. And then I can edit, copy it. The other option, once I've got it copied, I can then close it, and I don't need to save it. Okay, and I can now close this. The reason I wanted you to snip that is because now down here at the bottom, I want you to hit Control Enter for new page, and then paste. That will show your address database, and I have one error in doing that. I didn't make it big enough. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to edit the recipient list. Again, I will lengthen it. And, oh, it was in there, sorry. I'm not sure why position got put there instead of there. Somehow I moved that around, and I don't know when I did that. Okay, but this is my second example. Now, in this case, I have the whole thing up here again. I can see everything that I wanted. So now what I do is I push the print screen command or button, which is in the upper right part of your keyboard. Push that. And now I can again click OK. And now down here, if I hit enter, I can again paste. And now it shows my whole screen. And actually, in my case, I had two screens open at the same time, so it shows both screens. Okay, so in your case, you would only have one screen. It would show this. You can do that. Then we have the option that we can, when we click on this, we can use our picture tools. We can use crop, and in my case, then I can crop here, and I can move it right over to here, right down. I can crop here and move up. I can then take crop off, and I can expand it, and I have the same looking picture either way. You can do it either of those two ways, does not matter to me, but now normally you would not have this page. So when you go next to write your letter and then preview your letters, what we see up at the top is nothing happens, because they're all the same. There's only one. So when I go back here to write the letter, what I need to do is get rid of all this red. So this whole area here is called an address block. I click on it. This shows you how it looks. This shows you what it will look like for each of the places you have here. Now, the problem is that it added position. Position must be a key word when I use that. And so it inserted that as the title. That's giving me a problem I had not anticipated. So if I click position, if I click matching fields, position, I don't want that. So the title I need to remove. In here, if you don't name them, you can associate them with the address block. So I'm going to click OK. Okay, so I clicked match fields and I got rid of position. There's no courtesy title. Okay, so now it shows me what happens here. One of the reasons we look at this is to see if there's any errors. Okay, so now we need to delete all of this. Now here is going to be what we call our greeting line. Again, this will show us how it looks. We pick the one we like. Okay, and we delete the rest. Now here we have company. Well, company isn't an address line, greeting line, or electronic postage. So we click more items. And here's company. We insert. We then have to close. And then here we have heard. So again, we go to more items, and we go to heard, and we insert, close. Position, more items, position, insert, close. Company again, more items, company, insert, close. Again, companies here, more items, company. For some reason my mouse is not going well right now. Close. City, more items, city, insert. Are we not working well on now mouse-wise? And I didn't get that. See, I deleted there. This is the mouse problem I'm having now. Now I move down, that takes care of the cover letter, and I had 2 here. And we need to make sure that when we're doing this now, close, do we have 1 space here or 2? It looks to me like I may, nope, I've only got 1. Okay, and then company, more items, again, company, insert, close. Now, for you, you are now complete. Okay, for me, because I made this red, I'm going to hit Control A. That selects my whole document, and go here and change everything to black. Now everything should print out black. I shouldn't have any red. If you did do red, I don't care that you change it now. In fact, that would actually be beneficial to me because it would make it easier to grade. Okay, now what you should do now is save this document. So I don't care where you save it. Again, I'm going to go out to my main directory, my 105, and I'm going to save it there. And then that's the file you're going to submit to me. So you then upload and submit this file. Now, what you should do then after this, normally, not for me, but normally, preview your letters and you see exactly how it's going to work. For most of my life, I admire the products SAP makes and have been interested in helping to create those great products. Recently, I saw an ad in Computer World stating that you had a job opening for a customer representative, etc. So you can see that for each one, you would make sure they made sense, and then you would complete the mail merge. And normally you would save this then as another document. So I would go to File, Save As, and I would save this as cover letter done. And then I would print it. And then I could send that out. Okay, but in your case, we would now be done with Word. And so we would then go back to our Blackboard. For Word Project 2, you are here. You would then browse your computer to attach the file. You would go to wherever you saved it. And remember, I saved it as cover letter. And that is now uploaded here, or attached. Then you click Submit, and then I will grade it. Okay, that is the completion of this video and should be the completion of your project. Thank you.